Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the Championship Rounds podcast. We've had to think about how we're going to start this, so I'm just going to let Taj go, if I'm being honest. So,
He's a fucking butt. Nah, I'm playing. Just go on. I gotta contain myself, or there will be censor bars all throughout here. Truly, he is pathetic. No, generally just take it, or it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad.
um, yeah, um, Lamont Roach draws with Gervonta Davis and frankly gets robbed, if we're being honest. That's bad, isn't it? That is bad.
That is an understatement.
So the fight starts off like every tank fight, nothing happens. And then you're sort of sat there expecting Tank just detonate on him, and it just doesn't happen. And then Lamont Roach starts beating him up a little bit and outboxing him. The crucial moment in the fight happens in round 9. Clear knockdown. That doesn't get called.
Willis.
Yeah, and then Lamont Roach wins the last 3 or 4 rounds and should, like, honestly, I totally wrote Roach off here. Pretty much everyone did, really.
As we should have.
Yeah, Lamont Roach isn't a great fighter. He's not that brilliant. He's just a pretty average guy. Super featherweight. Can't really punch. And was hurting Gervonta Davis more than he was getting hurt by apparently the biggest puncher in the sport, according to some people. Yeah, I'm still in shock, to be honest. And they robbed Lamont Roach. They robbed him. That was if it wasn't, if they called him not down correctly, they robbed him anyway. By the way, regardless, because he won more rounds.
He won significantly.
But yeah, with the knockdown, like, yeah, I'm still in shock, to be honest.
See, I mean, like, he started slower as he usually does, and that's going to mean he loses rounds. But when you're getting outfought in the second half of the fight, with Gervonta Davis getting outfought in the second half of the fight, what is going on? And, like, he didn't even box Davis either. I mean, he just stood his ground and just outfought him, really, pretty much. He didn't do what other people do, where they just fight on the back foot, then let Davis get into a rhythm like Frank Martin did. You're not going to beat Gervonta Davis on the back foot, but if you push him off, disrupt his rhythm, stand your ground, actually fight him. I mean, it's dangerous, but you got risks. I mean, he took the risks. He did the performance. He didn't get the reward because he won this fight.
Gave everybody
Look, I didn't give Gervonta Davis a round in the second half of this fight.
Didn't either. I saw a lot of people gave the 9th round to Davis, including 2 of the judges. I'm like, what are we doing?
Well, I didn't. I had one swing round, which I gave the Roach, which was round 4. And
I don't even think I gave that.
If I gave that round to Gervonta Davis, I had to fight 8-4. And he said, look, I mean, like,
I can't believe we're talking about Lamont Roach being robbed of a decision. Gervonta Davis.
Like, I've never thought Lamont Roach was as bad as most people say. Hence why, I didn't want to rank him at the lowest tier in the championship round rankings. But look, I didn't give him a single hope in hell of beating Gervonta Davis.
Especially like that. He whooped his ass in this.
Yeah, because I mean, he hurt him at the end of some round. I don't know, 7, I think, and then he hurt him again the next round in the 8th, I guess. And then Gervonta Davis takes a knee, which, like, I don't care why you take the knee. Like, you took a knee, it's a knockdown. It's just been the rule forever. Floyd Mayweather's only knockdown in his career is a knee. And yeah, and he was wiping his head. I mean, you can't do that. In between a fight, you can't go over to your corner and do stuff.
He genuinely took a timeout. He said,
Like,
look,
even when you see them, like, oh, they go put their mouthpiece in, if the corner starts talking to them, the referee will say, nope, don't talk, can't give instructions. Like, you just can't do that. Or take a knee. Well, you can take a knee, but, you get penalized for it. Oh, that should have been a 10 round.
I was saying that he was he protected his whole career, that he just thought he could just ignore the rules of boxing, and he was allowed to just bypass the Marcus of Queensberry rules of just the sport. Like, he was allowed to just get away with taking a knee on the canvas, and like, oh, please wipe the braids grease off my head. Like, what do you? And people started counting. It's not like he was just confused. Like, what are you doing? He counted to 2.
Yeah, he did count to 2.
And then said, "Oh wait, this is the A fighter." Oh,
I mean, I'm pretty sure he said to him, "Yeah, if you don't do that, it looks like a knockdown." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, it looks like a knockdown because you just took a knee." It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you sit down on the knee like Joe Joyce or Kell Brook, or you get up straight away like you did. You went down. It's a knockdown. Start counting. Give him a bloody standing 8. Well, an 8 count.
You see the Marcus Brown tweet?
Oh, no.
Oh,
why the hell are we talking about amateurs, man? This is pro boxing.
So like, nah, it wasn't a knockdown because he didn't touch. Oh man, Lamont Roach got robbed. Bro.
Probably isn't a rule in amateur boxing. And yeah, maybe it was 20 years ago when he was an amateur. Like, if you take a knee, it's a knockdown. Your glove does not have to touch the canvas.
Anything but your feet have to touch them. Like, Jesus Christ. He was allowed to just ignore, just not have to go by the rules. Like, he won't. Oh.
Look, he's never really had to deal with any adversity in his career.
Yeah.
And, like, he's been able to do just, like, the whole thing most of the time, where he does nothing for the first few rounds. Then he gets going, and then they just fall, and they don't really fight back. Someone gives him a bit of resistance, a fighter that actually has a brain with some ring IQ and is actually coming to win. And, he doesn't have an answer for it.
Like, some of the fighters he fought had some of those things, but not all those things. And Roach is the first one to actually put all of them together. Chin, skill, gameplay, all of it just mixed together. Like,
yeah, because really, I mean, like I say, you're not beating him. You're not outboxing. You're not gonna, well, at least, unless you're like crazy, like a Shakur Stevenson. Like, it's probably better to beat him on the front, or at least stand your ground.
It's just a really risky ass thing to do.
Like, you're most likely gonna get knocked out on the back, but like, I have more chance standing your ground. Maybe, like, Leo probably had like the best type of game plan before Lamont Roach. I mean, I think he went a bit too crazy with it. He kind of went like war.
He did too much.
Like,
And he was also not a the division
Like-
they were fighting in. He's not a real super featherweight.
Yeah, but he's also obviously he's too small, and he's not like as big, and he doesn't have like the ring IQ or the like defense of Lamont Roach, who he has a FBA Philly shell type defense.
You know one thing I noticed?
Yeah.
Just how much bigger Roach looked.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. You don't
I'm
let a
tell-
fight. You don't fight a fighter that isn't drained. You should have lost. Wow,
Look.
Yeah, but like
crazy.
he looked thick and strong, and like he looked like a proper lightweight.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like,
Those 5 pounds did wonders for him, and that's what happens.
He probably should stay there.
He probably should stay there,
well,
but he's not going to. Well, he says he wants to fight
Yeah, he is.
Shakur Stevenson. But yeah, that's what happens when fighters are fighting out their weight class. You see the best of them. Like, because we haven't, like, he's not, like, done anything even close to that at 130. Maybe, like everyone else, everyone's always drained. Yes, you're not going to see the best of these fighters when they're drained like this. It's just not happening. The body can't do it.
All of his, like, almost his entire resume, championship resume, is a clear win for him, a drained fighter or a washed fighter, and that's his whole career. And look what happens when you fight someone. Like, it's funny because he really had no he shouldn't have had no chance in hell to do what he did. But you fight someone who's not drained and has a little bit of skill, and you lose, and you take a knee off a jab. It wasn't Braid's grease either. It was a jab that bothered you. But Jesus Christ, man.
His legs kept stiffening up though. Like,
Also,
You
he got
think
hurt
that might
multiple
be-
times before that. It's not like he wasn't hurt before the ninth round.
yeah, I think it was round 7 he got hurt. Like,
He Jesus, man.
Yeah, he was hurt at the end of round 7, and he got hurt even worse in round 8. Look, complacency. That's what happens.
Complacency, being too like just too cocky, and I don't care if he's been talking about like not wanting to fight for too long. I truly think he's just been exposed. I think.
Look, I mean, he has been talking about, like, I mean, he does seem to, I guess, be taking the sport more seriously. I mean, he seems to be in shape, but like not missing weight like he has done. But I don't think his heart is all the way in it. I mean, he does talk about just retiring stuff all the time.
He also obviously took Roach lightly.
Yeah, he just thinks everyone's gonna fall. Like, sometimes fighters just aren't gonna fall. And what are you gonna do then?
Yeah, when you don't
And
put
we
a
saw
weight
what he's gonna do then. Look, he needs to throw more punches. He needs to start faster. And he needs to have more respect for his opponents.
and not lose every single
genuine
round of
question.
the second half of a fight.
Go on, Thomas.
Can he start faster? Because he was gassed.
I don't have a clue.
Exactly. Like, he's been a low output guy his whole career. It's like the intensity thing I sort of said with Bivol, like in the first Serbia fight and a couple of others. If you fight at sort of first and second gear your entire career, when you really need to up it, like, he couldn't do it. Because he's been so used to sitting in this sort of zone where he's so much better than everyone he's fighting. And then when he has to like dig something out, he couldn't do it last night. And like it was just, this is why you fight the fights, man. Like, I have zero doubt in my mind you wouldn't see a Gervonta Davis performance like that if he was fighting the top level opposition consistently.
You wouldn't see him fighting an opponent like that if he was fighting top level competition.
Yeah.
Consistently.
I agree. But like, or you might see like one or two of those. This is why you should fight the fights, man.
No, he has no like experience in any type of like fight he wasn't supposed to win. Like he wasn't supposed to just knock someone out. And look what's happened. You've used all your cherry pick points, and now you've been exposed by someone you should have knocked flat on their face probably. He's embarrassing. That was generally one of the worst performances of the decade.
Like,
He's going to go on.
it's definitely a bad look. And I think he has to fight. He has to fight the top guys now to come back from this. He has to do it. He can't not fight a top guy after this. He can't just go fight some random lower level guy and knock him out. Or fight like 6 guys like I don't know, a Gamboa. He has to fight the top guys. That's the only way he can come back from this, is if he beats a Shakur Stevenson or a Keyshawn Davis, or goes up and beats a Teofimo, I don't know, something like that. It's the only way. Not even if you rematch Lamont Roach and knocked him out, that doesn't matter. You should have beaten him in the first place.
Talk about a Lamont Roach rematch is
Well,
the most insane thing I could have ever thought of.
we're not getting a rematch. Gervonta Davis already said he's not fighting him.
What? I haven't seen that.
He said it in his post-fight press conference.
He's probably packed it in.
He'll be out for a year, and then a rematch Roach.
Yeah. Also, him fighting like once a year. I mean, that's not good.
Shout out Pro Box, bro.
Yeah, that's one thing. We'll come on to this later. But Probots get their guys into position, even if you don't like it. They do a good job for their guys. But yeah, like I was sort of watching it live, and like, you know, when you're watching a fight and like you can't actually believe what's happening, and you're like, it's almost like you're in a dream.
Like that's exactly how I felt when round like 7 happened. Like the first 6 is like, oh, it's just every Gervonta Davis fight. It's slow. They're staring at each other. He's trying to set up the big one, and then no, he gets hurt. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe he was off balance. He gets hurt again, and worse. I was like, okay, this is what do we go? And then he takes a knee, and I'm like, okay, I'm obviously watching a simulation. Yeah, this just isn't what's supposed to be happening on my
Yeah,
screen.
it's like, yeah, you fell asleep halfway through Bro and Gary Russell, and you're dreaming about the fight.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way.
You're gonna wake up to a Tank KO7.
Viral knockout. Like, no.
Oh no,
he
got a gift draw.
He got a gift draw with a judge giving him the fight. That judge needs to see the depths of hell immediately.
All 3 do really, and the referee does, and whoever was on the replay for the commission does, because they
were like they just ignored. I didn't know that New York had the replay system. I thought it was just Vegas, but no, they also have it. They see the knee hit the floor and just ignore it.
They wouldn't have ignored that. That was Lamont Roach.
No, they wouldn't have.
Well,
would have started counting.
It would have been, yeah, he would have started counting. It was like 1, 2.
Did a fast count for Gervonta. Like,
look,
just embarrassing from everybody involved, except Roach.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good performance from Roach. I mean, his stock is just skyrocketed. Because, look, he's Gervonta Davis is a star. He brings lots of people to his fight. Lots of people watch that fight. And everyone just watched Lamont Roach
kick his ass.
Yeah, pretty much. He basically beat Gervonta Davis at his own game. That makes it even worse.
And dropped him.
Well, he definitely hurt him twice.
I was like, it's not out the realm that he could drop him. Like, he hurt
he hurt him
multiple times, and he made him take a knee. So He could have done it. I guess if he thought he could do it, he probably would have gotten knocked out because he probably would have done too much to try to get a knockout.
Yeah, like I do believe him with his hair. I mean, I have white hair, but I do know that they do put stuff on their hair when they do that stuff.
But it
And
wasn't off that though.
I mean, it might have been. I mean, he was wiping his head on the towel a lot, trying to get it off.
I remember, yeah, he was like yelling in Ford's face like he was doing a Jared Anderson impression.
Yeah.
I just wow. He robbed the Lamont Roach of a decision. Wow. Lamont Roach should be a 2-division champion right now.
Yes, he should.
That-
Yeah. Determined, and he wasn't intimidated. I mean, he was talking back to Davis in the ring.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been saying this the whole time in the press conference. He's like, "Yeah, it was real. I'm coming." I mean, none of you believe me, but I'm coming. Obviously, it's one thing to say it, and then he actually goes and does it in the fight. So, shout out to Lamont Roach.
He genuinely did more than what he said he was going to. He just outperformed. He outperformed his own words.
Like, I don't watch press conferences because I'm not a weirdo, but I did. I saw some clips on Twitter, and look, I don't really care for a rematch, but he does deserve a rematch and another big payday.
So at least if he doesn't get a rematch, he deserves to get a unification like right now, like right immediately.
I mean,
Or you didn't get the
I
belt.
think he's staying alive.
You didn't get the belt. But
I mean, look, I was gonna fight Shakur Stevenson maybe.
it's gonna be tough. That Shakur is gonna obviously get stick for fighting Roach because you know how he's gonna fight.
And Shakur's gonna easily beat Roach.
Yeah, he's gonna do what Gervonta should have done, plus a knockout.
Well, Gervonta can't do that.
So he should have done that.
Gervonta's not a stick and move guy like Shakur. Like, he can box on the back foot, but he's not going to win a fight boxing on the back foot mostly. And he doesn't throw enough punches anyway.
Punches around. I forgot what round it was. He was like he's landed 11 punches. It was like round 5 or so. Like,
Something like that.
You tell me you've landed basically 10 punches through like over a quarter of the fight. You need to do more. No one's asking you to be 2021 Brandon Figueroa, throw 120 punches around. Throw 60 punches. Like, what are you doing throwing 30 punches around?
Or just a couple, like, you can just throw 10 jabs to the body around. That would be better than whatever the hell he's doing.
Throw 2 combinations around. Like, oh my God, he's so pitiful.
Just, do something. That's why I said in my prediction tweet, I'm like, he's going to lose the first few rounds, 4 rounds, because he does nothing. He does nothing. That's what he does. Like, occasionally he'll actually start fast, like against Leo Santa Cruz. But most of the time, he doesn't do much.
I said this in the lead up to the Garcia fight. I was telling people, like, it didn't actually come true in that fight, obviously, but like, I was like, one day, him giving away the first 3 rounds is going to come up and sort of catch him because he can't do that. You can't go into a fight after like 3 rounds needing to win 7 of the next 9 to win the fight. You can't do that at the elite level. And it should have caught up with him last night, and it will catch up to him if he fights someone with a pulse, which I don't think he will do.
Yeah, because it's not like he loses these early rounds, but he's spending those early rounds like doing something just strategic to break down a fighter for the late rounds. No, he just does nothing, and then he starts getting going like the 4th or 5th round.
Don't be upset at him if he was actually like just slowly setting something up. He's not. He's just. Oh, this round I've decided to want to throw more punches. I've decided to sit down on a couple punches. You're not starting anything up until like round 6. What are you doing?
Yeah, he's just being himself.
Like I said, he's literally he just used all his cherry pick points, and it they ran out in this one.
Well, you know, there's always something crazy that happens every year. This is gonna be it.
I didn't think I was gonna start this early, and it would be him of all people, the fighter who like is fighting people he should be knocking flat out. He would be the one that has the most like crazy thing happen in the year so far. There hasn't been a fight crazier than that. A knockout crazier than there hasn't been anything in boxing crazier than him should have losing to Lamont Roach of all people.
It's crazy. It is crazy.
He won 3. He like won 3 rounds, maybe 4. It took a knee. It was gifted a draw. Like Jesus Christ. He deserves to never hear the end of it, like ever. For the rest of his career, he doesn't deserve to not hear the end of it.
You know what? For me, it's not even like. I'm still sort of like digesting this whole thing. Like I can't believe what I watched. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. It's more. It's really more like secondhand embarrassment now compared to like shock.
I
Like
just
it was shocking in the moment, but now it's like, ew, you really perform like that? Like
it's
that's
wild.
embarrassing.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild. Like he actually lost that fight. He actually lost to Lamont Roach. Like, yeah. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I still don't really believe it happened. Like, yeah, that's all I can really say about it. He lost clearly, and he got dropped, and he was getting hurt multiple times, and the power puncher was getting punched on by a super featherweight who's not really that brilliant. But anyway, yeah, absolutely wild scenes. Absolutely wild. And yeah, he's not the best lightweight in the world. I don't think he ever was. If I'm being honest, I've always rated Shakur Stevenson higher, but
All those pound for pound talks. That's enough. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's literally the opposite of pound for pound. Losing to someone coming up in weight. That's the opposite of pound for pound.
He shouldn't
So
have been
it's
in the
over.
first place. He shouldn't have been in the first place for people who ever decided to put him in there. Would have to knock Shakur out cold in the first round to be back in the pound for pound.
he will lose to Shakur. He actually won't lose Shakur actually because he won't fight him.
Well,
No, yeah, I would definitely have uber confidence that Shakur would outbox the hell out of him now.
I hope this makes him actually. I hope this actually makes him fight the top guys now. Come on.
I don't have faith in him.
Well, you see with a lot of people, but like they're matched up strategically or something, and then they take their first blemish, and then they actually start fighting the top guys. But, we'll see it when it happens. If it happens.
I can't believe that.
Because, look, he still waited until Lomachenko was like half retired and 500 years old to actually send him a contract.
Now he's out this way, really. He
Because,
probably won't fight again.
look, he'd spent like 2016. Like, that's the first time that it was said that, oh, he's not fighting Lomachenko. Oh, he's too young. Oh, that fight's not happening. He did that for like 7 years, 8 years. And then he finally wanted to fight him. But,
Crazy longevity for Lomachenko that he's champion right now.
Well, he should figure out what the hell he's doing first and tell us, and so we can. If he's going to retire,
he's probably done.
Vacate the bloody belt. And if he's coming back, tell us.
Give us a nice send off.
Well, him stopping Cambosis, that's a good enough send off.
Who knows, man? Like, I'm still just in shock, if I'm being honest. But yeah.
Well,
what a night.
Imagine waking up to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Jeez. Yeah. Were you sure that you'd woken up? Like, you're like, oh, am I definitely awake or not?
Well, I wasn't entirely sure. But then I waited a little bit and I was like, oh, bloody hell, I have to be awake. I have to actually give a proper reaction now.
Yeah. What a night. Yeah, chief support on this show. Gary Antoine Russell just beats up Jose Valenzuela for 12 rounds. Simply put, he was bigger, stronger, way more powerful, and threw way more shots. And Valenzuela just couldn't handle it. Like, he was in there with a big, strong 140 pounder, and he just couldn't handle it, and he got beaten up.
This is the problem I had. Like, he's not a 140 pounder, and he's not for a 140 pounder. And look, that was a really good performance from Russell.
Yeah. They should have stopped that fight.
The stamina held up like crazy.
Like, it's more polished as well. I mean, he was boxing on the back foot. He was actually defending better. Like, his jab was good, and it was really varied as well. Like, what have they done? I mean, maybe he just learned a lot from his first loss. I mean, that is some of the stuff that Puello does do. Yeah, and his stamina did look better.
And he does help when 1,000 punches.
It does help when you're just battering your opponent, but it did look better. And I don't really know what Valenzuela was doing. He didn't seem to have a game plan.
It seemed like he just gave up halfway through.
Like, he was just, like, his game plan was just to fight with Russell. Like, you saw Puello. I mean, Puello was, like, boxing, using his jab, and countering Russell. I didn't see any of that. It's like he didn't even... why would Robert Garcia not watch that fight and build a game plan of that? That doesn't make sense. You would study that fight. Because I know it was close, but I think, like, Puello just won the fight. But, he just got dominated. I mean, you could tell watching the fight. I mean, I watched the first 2 rounds and I was like, yep, this is going to be a one-sided beatdown. It was.
The only thing watching live, Valenzuela in like the 3rd and 4th rounds, he lost the rounds, like he lost every round. He was having some success to the body, and you're thinking, Russell's gone off so quickly. Is he going to slow down? And he just didn't. Like, yeah, it was a really good performance.
And, I mean, I don't really know where that puts him in the 140 division because, Valenzuela is not a 140 pounder. It's like you couldn't read anything about Valenzuela being Cruz because Cruz is not a 140 pounder either.
Look at Cruz, by the way, last night.
He's pitiful.
I was going to say both, but he lost early in his career, but two of his three losses. Two of Cruz's three losses last night, getting beat quite soundly.
Yeah,
It's not
brilliant.
good. It's not good.
Yeah, and like he lost pretty reasonably easily to Ryo as well, and Gervonta didn't even look good beating Cruz, so that's not good either.
It's yeah.
Abolish
There's not
the
much you can say
35
about that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can get the Russell Puello rematch.
Yeah.
Unification.
Should be exactly what they do now.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Right.
Obviously, there's a story behind that. I mean, he's already beaten him. That was a bigger fight. It's unification.
Unless there's some mandatory stuff going on there, there's no reason why they shouldn't be fighting each other next.
Look, unification is Trump mandatories, and Al Heyman will persuade him.
Puello doesn't have to fight Smith. He's got a voluntary. Because he's just thought he's mandatory.
He better
Sanders
voluntarily fight Russell again.
He shouldn't have to fight bloody Dalton Smith anyway.
Yeah.
What's he doing getting a title shot?
Andy Hirioka isn't fighting anyone because he just doesn't fight. He fights like once every 18 months. So who knows? Honestly, he's just so annoying, Hirioka, because he's really good, but he just doesn't fight anyone. And when he does fight, it's probably going to be an 8-rounder. So, like, who cares? Like, he's just so annoying. And yeah, the WBA will let PBC do anything. So, like, hopefully they make that fight. I thought it's weird. I saw a lot of people saying that Martin was robbed last night. I really didn't see a robbery.
Robbery is crazy. Crazy statement.
I just think it was a very, very. It was entertaining, but it was a very messy fight. It was close. I didn't score it, but it was a very messy, close fight. And yeah, sort of. It could go either way. That sort of thing. Like there was no robbery there. It was close. It's whatever. But like I sort of said in the preview, Puello was going to get a close fight. So yeah, Puello and points like that was just
I always
obvious.
thought he was going to get it regardless if it was going to be like that. And it was obvious they were going to box each other, even though they did like slug in certain points, which I didn't really expect.
That's why I didn't pick Martin. I mean, I favoured him because I thought he'd box more. But he's never getting the decision. I mean, even like when he came forward more, threw more, and stood his ground more. I mean, look, they're not going to give him the decision. I mean, I thought Martin won, but what can you do?
I rescored it like an hour and a half ago. I had it a draw.
Like, if you're going to let Sandor Martin box, you're going to lose more rounds than you're going to win. It's just how it's going to be.
That's why Puello probably
won
most of the rounds that he decided to fight in that box.
Yeah, because look, hold on, Thomas. Because when he was like he got into like a rhythm, like from like 3 to like 7, Martin did, and he just looked really good, and it looked like he was gonna walk away with the fight, and just doing what Sandor Martin does. But Puello came back a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed the fight. I mean, I like those fights. A good, skilled chess match, tactical match. A lot of give and take. I mean, it was not the most competitive because, well, maybe, actually, no, it was the most competitive because the main event was a robbery.
Yep.
It's the most competitive fight, at least on the main card.
With Puello, so he's had 3 title fights. He's 3-0, and all 3 have been splits.
Yeah.
I do think he clearly beat Russell.
Yeah, I think he beat Russell. I don't think that's
Yeah.
like controversial. I mean, he definitely lost to Akhmedov, and
Yeah.
I mean, well, I had him losing to Martin, so
So technically, I would have it 1-1-1.
I would have it 1-2. So I don't know what it is about. Like, it's not like he does anything crazy. Like, it's not like he has a come forward style. I don't know why the judges just seem to favor him so much. I don't understand it.
Money in the pocket.
No, but Russell, why would they favor him against Gary Antoine Russell? Why would he get the decision if they think it's that close? Oh, that makes no sense.
Make it look better than a UD, I guess.
I just don't understand what it is that he has that judges seem to favor so much.
It's just, it is weird. It is very weird. But yeah, he's a slippery fighter. He's awkward, long, so like he's just not nice to fight. And like, yeah,
And
he's
look,
got a style that's like made for close fights, I think.
yeah. And look, with Sandor Martin, if he gets the decisions, I mean, we're looking at like the number 140 pounder in the world. He has wins over TV Lopez and a Puerto and a Mikey Garcia. Would you rank him any lower than 2 in the division? I wouldn't.
And he's now firmly in the Who Needs Him club.
Yeah, because I mean, look, he could be a unified champion right now, and a lineal ring guy champion.
Good, eh?
Oh, what if he beat TV?
That was before the Taylor fight, though.
Oh, well, he could be world champion at least.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it was a better fight than I expected. In fairness, I thought they were just going to stand there and sort of stare at each other and do that thing where it's just southpaws mirroring each other and not really doing anything. But it was good. It was a fun fight.
I just knew that player would just push the action. I didn't really expect Martin to come forward as much as he did and stand his ground as much as he did, but that was a good change. Maybe he should do that more. I mean, he looked fine doing it. I mean, he looked comfortable doing it as well. But like, why do that when you can just outbox people and win every round? I guess that's what he's used to doing. That's how he fights.
Yeah, yeah. Next up on this show, I was just disappointed in this fight, if I'm being honest. J. Rock Williams, if I'm being honest, fought like a journeyman.
Yeah.
Like he felt the power early and then just decided I'm just going to scoot around the outside and not really try to win this fight.
And I don't know why Breadman is in his ear saying like, "Oh, this is a close fight," and then J Rock in the corner like, "Am I up? What are you talking about?
Look,
You're not doing anything."
I didn't expect any different. To be honest, I expected him to fight exactly how we fought.
Yeah, I just expected Tejas to.
It was up to
Shit
Tejas to
after.
actually stop him. I mean, he did kind of bar him, but
No, his face was a mess. I think it looked like the inside of his mouth was like cut or something. But yeah, he lost like basically every round. He might have won one round. I get Tejas getting 12
Good.
rounds. I
It
guess
just
good, but this is 2025 J Rock. We should be finishing him and not
we should be
headhunting so
finishing him.
much too. But
And I don't think him battering J-Rock makes up the fact he didn't stop him. To be honest. Because, I mean, he obviously did something wrong that he didn't stop him. Probably not go to the
It's
body,
just-
I would imagine.
Yeah, no, yeah, he was headhunting. And he was trying to be too cute, like trying to. I don't even know how to explain. He was just trying to be too nice.
Look, he was looking for the perfect shot.
Yeah, and it just wasn't happening.
And look,
He was being a Cuban.
yeah, pretty much. He was being Cuban. And look, you can't look for a perfect shot against someone like J-Rock. I mean, he's a slippery fighter. He's very experienced, and especially when he's on the defensive, he's going to be pretty well doing that. He's going to be able to defend a lot of shots. I mean, you're going to be able to hit him, but he's going to see them all coming. And look, you have a Julian Williams who hasn't made 154 in I don't know how long, lots of years, and he weighs in at 153 something, and you don't go to the body. As far as I'm concerned, you don't deserve to stop him.
Thank you, Snack. But yeah, it wasn't a good performance, but like it just it was just
At the very least,
He got 12.
he got 12 rounds, and you hope he learns and thinks, yeah, what do I actually have to do to like stop a guy who's not coming to win and just trying to survive?
Just to try to punch holes through his sternum.
I mean, you would have thought a fighter would think, all right, I'm only going to one place on this guy's body. Maybe I should switch it up. But, but that's what their trainer's there for. Who is this trainer? I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Is it who I think it is?
It's not Salas. If you're thinking Salas,
I am thinking Salas. Are you sure?
who was it?
I feel
It's
like
not Salas. Salas was there with Puello.
Wait, no.
That's where I saw Salas. Yeah, definitely was there with Puello.
Ronnie Shields.
It was Ronnie Shields.
Ronnie Shields.
He was a.
Well,
They had like an interpreter next to him.
brilliant.
Because he trains with Lara, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So it's Ronnie Shields. But yeah, it just is what it is. Tellez is good, but he's 24, and like, yeah,
And
that's a good
he hasn't
development fight.
he hasn't had many fights. We've got to remember that as well.
That was like.
And we've also got to remember that that fight could have well been fixed by Tellez, because that's what he does. So he could have just bet the over like he did for that other fight, and we've got to take that into consideration here.
Well, if he bet the over, he should have stopped him after the over and not gone the distance.
That fight that they did fix was the funniest thing ever, because like he got to the 10th round and then just thought, yeah, I'll just stop him now, and just brutally iced him.
Yeah,
It's the funniest thing ever.
Should have done that to J-Rock.
He should have done that. But yeah, it is crazy to think that he'll likely be a champion in like 6 months' time when Crawford vacates. Because that was for the interim title, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
J-Rock.
Right. Hate upgraded champions. Fuck off.
On the prelims, Jared Hurd got just beaten up, really, by Gonzalez. Like, yeah, he was getting hit with clean overhand rights that were thrown from about a mile back and weren't thrown with anything. It was bad. It really wasn't good.
He needs to. Well, he said he'd retire, but he needs to stay retired, or he genuinely might suffer if he is already not going to suffer. He's taken an insane amount of punches in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's just a very typical middleweight Jarrett Hurd performance, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was like twice as worse. Like he was literally Joyce shrunken down to a middleweight. He was significantly slower.
Yeah.
It's like
He was Joe Joyce.
He had no peripheral vision at all. And I'm sure the constant headbutts from Gonzalez wasn't helping him either. He was complaining about headbutts for like half the fight. So hopefully they went and checked him at the hospital to make sure the constant punches and multiple headbutts that gave him a hematoma on his eye.
Yeah.
He looked a mess.
Yeah, he's done.
I mean,
He's
even
been
when he let his hands go, man, they didn't have any effect,
he was so slow.
and he just sat on the ropes for a lot, especially late in the fight when he didn't have the energy to move. Like Jarrett Hurd was fun to watch, but I mean, no one's enjoying watching this unless you hate Jarrett Hurd for whatever reason. Do we need to watch him just get beat up by people he shouldn't be losing to?
I
No.
wish he just retired after after he fought Resendiz.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point?
Like,
Yeah, I
taking
mean,
more punches from Rosario and Gonzalez, two of the like hardest punches around these weight classes, and not beating either of them. Like, Jesus Christ. I hope he sticks to his retirement that he said after the fight.
I mean, he just has to know it's the right time.
I hope he knows that it's been past the right time, and that he did too much.
But at least now, like, he's pushed it. Like, you can't push it anymore. Like, if you push it anymore, you're just gonna fall off and completely break. Like, it just
It
keeps
is
some
like
of
Joe
the
Joyce.
yeah,
I just hope he doesn't. I hope he just doesn't suffer in the incoming years, because
yeah,
he's
just
taken
keep
an
some of
insane amount of punches in the last like 4 years.
the health that he has, and especially him moving up and like middleweights. I mean, middleweight power is just different because they hit so hard, but they still have like the speed of a lower guy. So it's even worse.
I was gonna say, it's not like he went up and like took on non-punching middle. He took on some of the hardest punching people around these weight classes and took all their punches.
Yeah, we know your chin is crazy.
And he would have took another round of punches if they didn't stop him, like in that last the start of the 10th round against Resendiz. He would have just took another round of beatdown.
Yeah, it was chin is backfired, and I just made him take so much damage rather than just getting stopped early. Oh, what a shame.
And the fact that the only time he's ever been down is to J Rock, of all people.
Oh, Gervonta, it was a quality fight back in the day. Just got done on the inside, where J Rock is very good on the inside. Well, it was very good.
6 years. That's crazy. Like watching that's
Yeah.
about to be 6 years ago. That's crazy.
It
And that judge that gave it to Hurd, what are we doing?
Hmm.
What are we doing? What exactly are we doing? Robin Taylor. What's going on?
Yeah. Anyway, Herschel retire. Let's move on.
even the judge that gave it 96, 94.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. To Puerto Rico now. Sabriel Matias beats up Gabriel Golaz. Valenzuela, however you want to say it.
He looked like a
in a fight that really should have been stopped a couple of rounds earlier. Yeah. Gorlaz is just crazy. Like the amount of punishment he took with that eye, and his corner's an idiot. And the referee should have stopped it sooner, and so should the doctor. But like Gorlaz is just crazy. But yeah, it was typical Matias, really.
Well, it was typical Matias with a jab and actually lie on his feet somehow.
Like even better blocking defense. Like that was like a career type performance, really. Because you know how it usually takes like the first 2-3 rounds to let them get try to get situated. He gave Valenzuela 1 round, and not even the full first round, and was already. I don't even want to know how many punches he threw in that fight, because it's probably a ludicrous amount.
Probably a lot. He always just throws a lot.
No, I feel like he threw like twice as much as he even does before. And it's like he didn't get tired up until like the 7th, from probably averaging like 110 punches around. He looked like a demon in that fight.
And we shouldn't have seen him get tired because it should have been stopped. And they made Valenzuela take maybe the biggest left hook that Matias has ever thrown. And that was just unnecessary. Like, I don't know how he somehow swindled his way of getting an extra round from the doctor, but what is the doctor doing? Just, you're there, you want to stop the fight. Don't let him talk you into giving him another round. You're not there for that.
He's obviously not going to quit. So.
Yeah, like, you're not there for that. Forget what the fighter wants. Stop the fight. Not only is his eye just
hanging off.
Like, he's just taking so much punishment. And he's not taking punishment from just anyone. He's taking punishment from Matias, who's killed someone before. And I felt he, slowed down a bit, to be honest. I mean, he slowed down. I felt like he just didn't want to beat him up anymore.
I was about to say, it was either maybe he got tired from whooping on him, or he was like, "Oh, this is too much," and I kind of have memories of what I've done to people, so might want to calm down a bit.
He just slowed down. I was like, "Oh, take it a bit easy on him," and then he was just like, "Oh, okay, they're not going to stop it. I have to stop it." So he did.
He was actually getting TKOs now. No more corner stoppages.
Well, he got TKO in his loss.
I know. I'm saying he's getting TKO.
We're back. He's back.
It's been 5 years before these 2 fights. So he's got a goddamn TKO.
Maybe it's been so long that corner's just like, oh, that's fine. I'll let them stay in now. And maybe they shouldn't have this one. He should have got another corner retirement. I mean, look, you just can't. Someone can't take that amount of punishment. I mean, you're just not going to be the same.
For you put it in rounds, put it in minutes. He was taking so many punches for 25 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Constantly, and couldn't get out the way of anything.
Yeah, it's just unnecessary. Well, at least Matias is back.
They'll call out the Hitchens after the fight.
Yeah, because even when he did get hit, I mean, he took the punches fine, which is a good sign after his previous fight.
I don't know about that Hitchens fight.
I don't either, because if Hitchens won't fight like that.
Well, no,
he won't be anywhere near that. He won't want to be anywhere near.
Hitchens will beat him, but I mean, he probably does. I guess deserve the shot. I guess maybe Hitchens didn't want to fight when he was champion. Now, if he wants to fight,
make him want to fight him now.
Well,
unless he's literally ordered to fight him.
I mean, he beat him. Maybe he's
I
more
think
confident now that he's champion.
yeah, it's just
And also, he saw what Paro did.
and he's bigger. He's like much bigger than Paro, but that makes him a bigger target too. But
Well, not if he's not there to be here.
I'll say,
They can
but
move. I mean, like, he has
It
the
also makes him
perfect
longer.
style. Yeah, he has the perfect style. Like, someone, like, reasonably basic who's not exactly that great at boxing pretty convincingly beat Matthias. Boxing,
I think he'd beat Matthias.
he would. Probably, he'd be pretty wide. Unless he is an idiot and holds his feet.
I feel like sometimes he's gonna be forced to hold his feet. He's not gonna be perfect for 12 rounds. He's never been perfect. So but yeah, I think he'd beat him soundly.
It's fine. It's a good fight. Matthias is going to be one of those guys. Well, I mean, he already is one of those guys who just looks good against certain styles. Like, he's not going to do well against people who can box and move. I've basically just described Teofimo Lopez.
I think Teofimo would beat him too.
Yeah. Which is why they should fight each other.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the perfect style for Teofimo. That's just what he wants. That's exactly what he wants. Someone who comes forward and throws a lot of punches.
Yeah.
And, like, makes the footwork mistakes that he does and squares up, leans back, gives him so many counter opportunities. Oh. Yeah, Teofimo does that and beats him. Everyone's like, yeah, Teofimo's back. He's pound for pound again.
And then loses someone he should be beating in the next one.
Yeah, then he fights Alberto Puello and gets a. They draw and he really loses 10 rounds.
He's such a seesaw fighter.
Yeah, and the problem with him is most of the top fighters at 140 are boxers. Like, lots of them stick a move, or can stick a move. Like Martin,
Him
Puello,
versus Russell would be pretty interesting.
yeah, Carol, Barboza, those type of guys stick a move. I mean, look, he should beat a Russell. I mean, he should beat guys that can come to him. But I mean, we did see some boxing and some jabbing from Russell, but that is not his style. He's not going to be able to do that for 12 rounds. Oh,
Especially
brilliant.
against a big Teofimo.
Yes. Anyway. Another IBF eliminator. One of the weirdest fights this weekend. Paddy Donovan batters Lewis Crocker. Fouls pretty much all night though, and then gets DQ'd after Crocker blatantly dives.
That was fun.
Like, here's my thing on this, because I've had a lot of discussions about this fight. In isolation, that was a very, very harsh decision. But Donovan was consistently fouling all night. He brought elbows through all the time. He was headbutting out all the time. He was posting with the lead hand, stepping on toes, doing everything he could to disrupt Crocker. And it was working. He was winning the fight. Got warned about 7 or 8 times. Had 2 points deducted, and then he starts throwing shots after the bell. You're an idiot. You are an idiot.
I feel like it's split with the last like the disqualification, because although he was fouling before, the ref should have been closer to stop them from like fighting when the bell rang.
I
Yeah,
He
will.
was
definitely.
like halfway across the ring, but you're gonna keep punching, then and you hit him after the bell, you're going to get disqualified, especially after you've been deducted points.
I'll put it shortly. Good decision. He should be should have been disqualified. As far
He
as I'm
probably would
I
have
concerned.
got
agree.
disqualified anyway, even if he didn't get a point deduction, like one of those 2 point deductions before, and then he just got one for this one. He probably would have did something else to get disqualified anyway.
Well, like if he didn't get the point deductions and Crocker couldn't continue, he would have got disqualified. If he could have continued, he would have got a couple points deducted. But when you've had points taken away, and there were points taken away for 2 different things. First one was the elbow. Second one was a head pass. And then you hit someone that late after the bell. No, you're out of it. Get out of it.
You're out of here.
Yeah, get out of it. No, fuck off. Get out.
Yeah, I don't know how he was having a tantrum and crying on the floor, and he was gonna get disqualified. Like he could have had a case to be disqualified without those point deductions, just right there after that.
Yeah, like that was so crazily after the bell. Like I wasn't sure what I saw actually just happened. I was like, no, he can't have just done that.
Which would have been the same reaction without the point deductions, which makes it even crazier that anyone's making a case that he should not have been.
Yeah, there is no. If you think he shouldn't have been disqualified, you are an idiot.
With or without the point deduction,
But people,
you're gone.
look, people
Go ahead.
constantly in this sport. Yeah, this is where I think the fan base is just idiots a lot of the time. They're constantly saying, "Well, he was holding all night. Why wasn't the ref doing it?" Or he's leading with the head all night. Why wasn't the ref doing something? The ref does something, and the kid keeps fouling. Then he chucks him out, and now you're crying about it. Like
Yeah,
it was the right decision. I don't understand why people think it wasn't.
like it
Constantly
doesn't matter.
fouling all night.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter that he was absolutely dominating the fight on his way to a probable stoppage. I mean, he just dropped him, and he was about to stop him. It's irrelevant. That is irrelevant to him hitting him so late after the bell. Like the bell's gone. Yeah, the bell was
You see
gone,
him
and
on the
he's hit
eye.
him twice afterwards.
On
Like,
the eye
no.
that swelled up and cut because you were headbutting it, and had a point taken off of that, and elbowed it, and he was posting all night with like how many like rule infractions do you want to do every single round? How many warnings do you want to get? He
He
was
did like
warned
5
practically every
separate
round.
things.
Yes, he was winning. Yes, he was like it just shows a lack of sort of ring IQ and mental maturity, where you can sort of say, right, I'm not going to get caught up in the occasion here. I'm winning this fight. I don't need to be fouling. I've had 2 points taken off. The ref keeps warning me. I'm going to get DQ'd here. I'm just going to kill the fight. I'm going to get on my jab and I'm going to work round. I don't need to go all out here. He's cut. He's swelled up. He's hurt. He's going to go anyway. I can just box here and pot shot, and I will beat him, and I'll probably stop him.
Yeah,
But he
I mean,
didn't.
he could have done exactly what he did without all of the fouls. I mean, he didn't need to charge in with his head every single time he came in. Like, why? You stuck your head down and come in. Like, you don't need to do that. I mean, you're much better than him. We knew that going into the fight.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Stupid. And I hope there isn't a rematch because
There's not a
he doesn't
rematch.
deserve it.
There's not a rematch.
Well, Donovan's team have like sent legal letters to the IBF demanding one. So
All I know is that Lewis Crocker trainer said there won't be a rematch and that they're fighting for a title next. But it's not up to him, of course.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised that Ennis fights Stanionis, the IBF goes vacant, and they rematch for the title.
Yeah. I think, they'd both be happy with that.
Yeah.
Although
Lewis
less
Crocker
so.
fighting for a world title.
Less so Lewis Crocker because he's going to lose.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Crocker's a very, very basic fighter. Like, honestly, him being mandatory for a world title after stinking it out against Tyrone McKenna, knocking out Jose Felix, who he outweighed by about 8 pounds, and then a gift decision against Conor Walker, and a DQ in which he was getting pummeled by Paddy Donovan is hilarious.
Look, let's say like the title doesn't go vacant, man, and it's just tell her to fuck off. Like, I'm not fighting you. I mean, he's not going to, obviously, because Eddie Hearn, but he should. Like, there's no reason he should be fighting Lewis Crocker. Lewis Crocker. Seriously, Lewis Crocker. That's a division, man. Welterweight. What is going on?
Yeah, it's not good.
The fall of welterweight is going to be studied.
Lewis Crocker would get stopped by Echo Esserman, by the way. Like, he's not very good, like, at all. But yeah, weird fight, man. Weird fight. I didn't watch anything else on that card. Craig Richards won.
I did. Look, see, the reason we didn't pick him by knockout is because he doesn't throw that many punches. I mean, that's the best that Craig Richards has looked since probably the Shakat Peters fight. And, I mean, I was kind of impressed, to be honest. He looked really good. And just bad McCrory.
And then made McCrory take that Irish knee.
Yeah, he did. Took the knee, got counted out from a body shot at the end of the 8th round. And, I mean, he showed a lot of toughness. I mean, he probably should have got stopped way before that, but maybe even got pulled out, to be honest. I mean, he was really taking a battering. But I don't know why anyone gave him a chance at 175. Well, 1, he's not that good. 2, he got stopped by Edgar Berlanga. 3, he's not a light heavyweight. And you only need to know that he got stopped by Edgar Berlanga. Forget the other things.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. In Bournemouth, Ryan Garner won a European title. I was disappointed in Jimenez. I thought he'd win the fight, but Garner boxed well, but there's still the holes that I see with him. Like, he's a solid European level fighter, but they should stop talking world titles. I'm not even sure he beats Ruiz Bellotti at this point.
Oh, that's, Ruiz Belotti's okay.
Yeah, but he's that sort of level. Like, he's a British European level fighter. Like, he's okay. I think he lacks a lot of power. I think he gets carried away, and I think he fights in bursts way too much, and he punches himself out in rounds. And I don't know, Jimenez was there to be taken, and he could have stopped him. I'm nitpicking here, but I guess when you're talking about world level, like they are with him, he's a couple of fights away. You've got to sort of nitpick. And I just don't think he's that good. If I'm being honest, I think he'll either be on the end of an upset or they'll throw him in with someone and he'll get battered.
Well, I mean, he's good for the level. I mean, obviously, he's not world level, and he's not a couple fights away from a world level fight. But what I picked, I didn't pick Jimenez to win. Got his name right this time. Didn't say Juarez. Well, I won't lie. I haven't watched the fight yet.
He just think
But
of a.
I saw he won every round.
Yeah.
On the judges' card. And considering the way you were talking about him getting bad, I mean, it's impressive, I guess.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I thought Jimenez just. I think he had his heart broken when Garner didn't just totally empty the tank early. And then but Jimenez was landing some good work, but for every 1 or 2 he was landing, Garner was landing 4 or 5, and it was just like done by the time. And like he punched the fight out of Jimenez, and then Garner just sort of coasted a bit in the second half.
He's trained by Ben Davis, ain't he?
No,
No?
he's who is it? He's trained by someone on the South Coast, Barrett or someone. Not Barrett.
Barrett?
Who is it?
Pat Barrett?
Not Pat Barrett. It's someone in the South. It's one of these local trainers, I think, who's hardly had anyone. But yeah, I just thought he's just not that good. He's got a bit of an engine, and he can throw punches and combinations. But yeah, I just don't think he's that good, to be honest. He's a decent domestic fighter, and that's what he'll be like. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, but it's just a bit like, yeah, he's not ready for world titles, and he never will be ready for world
Never will
titles.
be. Yeah, but he never will be. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of good matchups to make.
Yeah. Like Reese Belotti's a good fight. Liam Dillon was a good fight the first time. Sharp was a good like. If you can watch the Dillon and the Sharp fights, and that's sort of the level he's at. Like competitive decision wins over Sharp and Dillon, and that's the level we'll be at. Like you can make those fights. I don't know, but it's crazy to think that they made a Kakachi fight for him, and he had to put out of that. And then Kakachi's gone on and done what he's done, which is funny. He's just a bit of a weird sort of, yeah. But anyway, Friday in Canada. Giron, I don't know how he didn't get stopped. He was getting pummeled by Eduardo Hernandez. That was bad.
Rocky finally didn't punch himself out in the first 4 rounds for once.
He's back.
He looked good. I feel like he should have stopped him. But obviously, Hiron has just an insane chin. Because there's no way he should have made it past like 9, let alone the distance.
Yeah, like honestly, with that sort of performance, like I don't blame him for not stopping him, because it's just like, what else can you do, really? Like he beat him up so badly, and like it's just at a point where like, yeah, he's just got an insane chin. Like you can't do anything about that.
Yeah. Look, some guys just won't go, no matter what.
It's crazy that
He might go in a future fight now since he took
Yeah, that's the problem with taking so much punishment is the future. Like, yeah, you took a massive beating for 12 rounds. Good, you're tough. You got a great chin, but how's that chin gonna look in a few fights?
It's not like nobody. It's not like a nobody was punching on him. It was Rocky Hernandez, who has almost all knockouts.
And it's not like he's rolling with these punches. I mean, he's taking them clean.
Coming forward, like coming into the punches.
Well, Rocky's back. I mean, he's always good to watch.
Yeah, he's a fun fighter.
He's finally gotten somewhat control of his stamina for once. Even though he started getting hurt to the body at the end of the fight. So.
Well, you know, it wouldn't be a Rocky Hernandez fight if something bad didn't happen.
Yep. He's just a fun fighter on 30, and like sort of you compare him to Ryan Garner and think, yeah, he's not good enough to win a world title. He got stopped in his fight against Foster, like, and then you're saying Garner's 2 fights away from a world title. Like, it's night and day, man.
Like, and look, maybe he would have stopped Hiron if he actually made weight.
But yeah, Hiron missed it, didn't he?
Yeah, by like over a pound.
Yeah. Coming back down from lightweight, wasn't it? But yeah, good performance, man. Good performance. Like he looked like he was more. He wasn't loading up as much, but he still kept the speed, and that was really impressive. Like he was throwing sort of 30% more with 30% less power, and it looked really, really good, man. And he kept it up for a long time as well. Like, yeah, he's a good fighter. He's definitely improved.
Like he's on a pretty decent run since losing to Oshaki. I mean, he beat Lugo, Matisse, and just beat Iran. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah. Like, I think there's an eliminator against Mark Magsayo, which they were talking about. I think that would be a brilliant fight, and I don't know who's going to win that now. Before I was pretty confident in Magsayo, but like,
Well, look, someone's getting iced.
yeah, that'd be. Oh,
That's not going past 6 rounds. Someone's getting iced.
That'd be unreal. Let's talk about this. Now, I wasn't going to review this fight, really. We didn't even talk about it on the preview show. Liam Wilson rematching Yusuf Dib in Australia for some weird reason. He asked Yusuf Dib the first time, and like, yeah, get up on Saturday, bit bored, just stick it on in the background whilst I'm doing some stuff. Then they just casually drop that. Well, yeah, if Liam Wilson wins today, he's going to go and fight Oshaki Foster. Like, what?
Yep.
What's going on? Like, they just casually dropped it on the Fox broadcast, and it's like, yeah, like, he's going to go and fight Oshaki Foster, and it's like almost a done deal. He's just got to win tonight. And then he goes and drops Yusuf Dib in the first 2 rounds, like, first and second, and then you're thinking, my God, he's going to blow him away, and he's going to be ready. No. He does that Liam Wilson thing where all of his stamina goes after 4 rounds, and then he starts going life and death, has a point deducted in the 9th, and I only scored the fight to Wilson by a point. And he's got a mad cut on his nose, and like,
I had it slightly wider, but really, I mean, look, the knockdowns could have won him the fight. I mean, like, why are you going life and death with Yusuf Dib? And especially with this being a lightweight, you'd think he'd be better with him not having to drain himself. Like, his stamina is not great, and you'd think his stamina would be good still, but no, he's just one of those guys that has terrible stamina. That's it. And this wasn't like a life and death, like, oh, he's still battering him, but, he's getting hit. But no, he was actually just losing rounds.
I do not want to see him against Foster.
Like, the Foster fight will probably be closer than it should be because Oshaki Foster is absolutely dead at the weight and should be a lightweight himself. But that says more about Oshaki Foster and him being so drained than it does about.
If he wasn't drained, I feel like most people would pick him to stop Wilson.
If he wasn't trained, yeah, he might still because especially him going back down to 130 after fighting twice at lightweight.
Just be two skeletons fighting.
He might even make weight.
I have no idea. I just don't get it. I don't understand this fight.
Liam Wilson has that same Joet, like, I don't know.
Yeah, he keeps getting recycled by Top Rank. I don't understand it.
Here's another title shot for absolutely no reason. Here you go.
I just don't. Like I said, I said it. Like, Wilson's a fun little domestic level fighter. He's had his shot twice at world level, and he's got stopped both times. He's living off a long count.
Yeah, and at least with Joet, he's been competitive in every title he's got except from Shakur Stevenson, and not been stopped.
Like, I just don't get it. He's beat Yusuf Dib twice, and now he's in with Oshaki Foster, and you've got Navarrete, who's headlining San Diego again against either not RD Cortez, what's his name? Andres Cortez.
Yeah, Andres Cortez.
Yeah. Or Charlie Suarez. What?
Suarez, man.
What's going? Navarrete and Foster are right there. Like, what? Why don't you put them two together? It's just typical, uninspiring top-ranked matchmaking. And we'll keep going on about top-ranked matchmaking in a minute. But, like, it's just so boring, man. It's like they sign up a few fringe contenders that they boost up the WBO rankings, yeah. They have a few guys that they really want to get behind. Yeah, they win a vacant WBO title, feed the fringe contenders that they've got to the champion for like 3 or 4 fights. Then they move him up and move one of their guys from the lower division into their spot, and it's just rinse and repeat with it all the time. There's no imaginative matchmaking. When was the last time top rank put on a fight? A top rank put on a unification fight. When was the last time they did it? It might be Shakur Valdez.
It might be Shakur Valdez, yes.
Haney Camboso sort of was with Top Rank, but it wasn't really because that was like the Australian people put that on.
Obviously, like Loma, Tio, and that was 5 years
That was
ago.
2020, yeah. Like the Top Rank's match, they got some of the best fighters in the world. Top Rank, and the way they bring prospects through is really, really good. But it gets to a point when they're at the top level and they just don't put them in with each other, and it's just like, why? Foster and Navarrete.
Who am I thinking of? Batavia, Joe Smith Jr.
That was that was 2021, wasn't it, or 2022? I think that was 2022. But like, it's just
Was it?
that was 2022 in the summer, yeah. Because then he fought Yard in January 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really think of anything outside of that. Those.
Like, it's just it's so frustrating. Oh, Yanabek Gautieri.
That doesn't count.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
You know what I mean? But like they've got 2 guys like together in their prime, 1 and 2 in a division, and they just keep treading water with them. Like what does Navarrete against Andres Cortez do, or Charlie Suarez? What's the point in that?
Guess that viral title shot.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Like, what's the point in Oshaki Foster going to Australia to fight Liam Wilson?
Who knows?
None.
And if you don't want to like put Oshaki Foster in with like Navarrete because you're risking Navarrete getting beat, I'll tell you a fight: Keyshawn Davis against Oshaki Foster as a first defense. There you go. Do that fight because Oshaki Foster's dead at super feather anyway. Like, it's just so like top rank matchmaking is so stupid. It's so annoying. Because you know what's going to happen? They're going to wait until this until Teofimo Lopez moves up to welter. They're gonna move Keyshawn up to 140. Yeah. Then they're gonna move Abdullah Mason into the shot of 135 for the vacant belt. That's what they're gonna do. It's so stupid. And you can see it a mile off. You can go on BoxRec and look at the lineages of all these titles, all these WBO titles, and it's just top rank, vacant belt, top rank, vacant belt, top rank, vacant belt, and it's just so stupid, man. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's like, yeah. Liam Wilson against Oshaki Foster. Oh, and special mention. This is the last topic we're going to moan about today. Why is Inoue fighting Ramon Cardenas? But what are we doing?
I'm not even gonna tell you how to pronounce his name properly because I don't care.
Cardenas,
however you want to say it, however it's spelled.
Whatever, he should not be in the ring with Inoue.
I thought he lost, by the way.
I'm kind of getting sick of him. Truly. Like, he's not the matchmaker, but like, I'm kind of tired.
Look, the problem is these Japanese and their respect. Well, they're not going to tell. Well, he's not going to tell actually, I'm not fighting this guy. He's fucking shit. I don't need to be fighting this guy. Stick me in with someone better. They're not going to do that, and it pisses me off.
Like,
it's like,
this
buddy,
run he's on is
grow some balls. Like Doheny, Kim, Cardenas. What are we doing? Like, yeah, sure, you're gonna fight MJ in September, and then you're probably going to fight Nick Ball in December. Like that's
Also-
fine, but I don't want to have to watch a 3-fight run of you fighting Doheny, Kim, Cardenas.
I really thought that Depine was going to be a one-off. Like back then, I was like, oh, I guess.
See, this is like the only like problem I have with Japanese fighters. That's why you just see them fight some random guy, like some Thai guy, and you're like, why are you fighting this guy? It's because they won't tell their promoters that they're not fighting. They'll just fight anyone they stick him in with. Outside of a few, I mean, like Yoga would probably tell Mr. Honda to fuck off, and the Kameda brothers as well when they were fighting, and they're obviously the ones that fight now are promoted by their brothers. So you know, it's just what it is. That's why you just see them random fight some just terrible opponents.
Yeah, I might be pulling the plug. I'm not gonna pull the plug all the way. It's Snelly anyway, but I'm like, it's coming out like slowly. Kind of getting exhausted. Like
It's just
you're about to spend a whole year in like your best. Well, not a year, like a 3-fight run, and you're in the best fighter will be fucking 40-year-old TJ Doheny. So what are we doing?
we're gonna look really stupid. Like if TJ Doheny, imagine he beat his Nick Ball.
No,
Look.
no, don't say that.
Well,
It's
I'm telling you right
Doheny
now,
too.
if Doheny chins Nick Ball, I wouldn't be that surprised. Like, I'd be surprised because he's not good. He's 47 million years old and he's never looked good at featherweight. And his power hasn't gone up to featherweight either. And he got dropped by Michael Conlon at featherweight.
But Nick Ball's garbage. So
Nick Ball has zero defense. His defense is taking stuff on the chin and running forward.
Well, but he does have a reasonably good chin, I guess. He can take the punches. He's like built.
because he's 50% neck.
Yeah, he's got those builds. He's got a George Givallo neck.
He's so strong, yeah. But like, that's sort of like the thing. Like, why don't I just this whole sort of Vegas thing's weird, man.
I will not be there.
I don't get why. I don't get why they're so obsessed with it. Like, especially like given the numbers he was doing against Neri. Like, why is he need to fight in Vegas?
I will not be there paying like $80 to watch him fight Cardenas in the back. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? He's already fought there. Does he need to go there again? No. Like, yeah, fighting there when he wasn't as popular as he is now. Oh, the guy's a superstar. And he wanted to go
He's
fight in
fight
Vegas.
someone good.
Yeah, like it should have been MJ in Vegas, but that's going to be in Saudi. So
Like, they won't do MJ in Vegas because they're obsessed with him fighting a Mexican or a Mexican American. Like,
yeah,
it's what I mean. It's so weird. Like,
oh, you top rank.
yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, and this is on Top Rank as well because it's a US show.
Hey, Bob Arum, told the booth, fuck off. Let Hashi carry on, but maybe not let Hashi carry on. He's the one that got Kim.
Yeah, June Kim.
And TJ Doheny.
No, we're gonna be in a situation anyway where you know, in a way he's gonna have 2 rematches against Henny and Fulton, and he's gonna be a unified champion. He's gonna be a unified champion.
Well, look, in his defense, if he rematched Fulton, I guess Fulton would deserve the rematch.
Yeah.
Look, even if Doheny just chins Nick Ball, he doesn't deserve the bloody rematch.
It'll probably rematch anyway.
You know what they should do? If the Henny chins Nick Ball, that's like in March, isn't it?
Yeah.
He should have like, you know when you're at sort of at the start of camp, and you're probably weighing in at about featherweight anyway. Have a 12-round open spar against TJ Doheny about 6 weeks out from the Cardenas fight. Yeah. pin the Henny at featherweight quick, win that title, then drop back down for Cardenas because like both of them are on serious fights anyway. Like you don't get like, what's the point? Like,
Oh, they wear headgear and he doesn't. Like,
it's just silly. Like, I don't get it. Look, people can lose and come back, yeah. But look at Danny Flores' record, the guy that beat Cardenas. So he's won one fight since 2012. And that one fight has been that was Cardenas. He started his career 14-2. Yeah. He is now 15-26-1. The one win was Cardenas.
Yeah, so that means he's had one win in 9 years.
Yeah,
Cardenas.
his last 26 fights, he's had one win, 24 losses, and one draw, and that one win was Cardenas. Like, fair play to Cardenas. He's come back well, you know. He's had a few decent wins at fringe world level, and that very, very fringe world level. I thought he lost to Brian Acosta, to be honest.
And
Pro Box the other weekend. Like, he's just not. He was losing to Rubio. He was getting outboxed by him.
It's a worse opponent than Picasso, but and I'm mad at Picasso for not just fighting him. But it would have been the same with Cardenas. I don't want to watch him fight Picasso either. I want him to fight MJ already.
I want him to fight Casemiro.
That is better than these Picasso. Cardenas is better at this point.
It's silly. It's silly, man. I just he better fight MJ and Bull this year, man. Because like if he goes past like 4 or 5 rounds with Ramon Cardenas, man, like there's a problem. Like he's not good. He's just
better not pull off like a Gervonta level bum off, man. There's no way I could.
One thing I will say is we'll end this show on a positive note. Pro Box are very, very good. They're a very good operation. They put on really nice fights. They're for free on YouTube. And whatever you think about these fights, like the Lamont Roach fight last night, and like Inoue against Cardenas, and like all these fights, they get their guys into position and they get their guys fights. Like, genuinely well done to them. Like, I know a few people there. They're a good team. They do very, very good work. They do the best that they possibly can for every single fighter they have. And it's well done. You've got a fighter that's really not very good into a position where he's headlining Vegas for an undisputed title for a massive payday. Like, genuinely well done. That's good management. True. Doesn't stop me from criticizing the fight and thinking it's a horrendous mismatch, but like, well done. You got your guys shot. But yeah, well done to them. Yeah. But yeah, it's not a good fight and it shouldn't be happening.
He's just disappointed recently.
Yeah. The Riyadh card in New York was confirmed for the same weekend as well. Haney against Jose Ramirez, pointless fight. Ryan Garcia is going to chin Rowley, which would be funny, but again, it's a pointless fight. And then Teofimo against Arnold Barboza.
Yep. Garbage.
Look, that's a good fight.
It's on paper.
That's a good fight. Look, Barboza's going to outbox him, and he's probably going to lose a decision.
Split decision.
Yeah.
So he's gonna really win 9 rounds. He will be given 4 on 2 cards. So
yeah.
For the other 2, what do? And why are people hyping it up? That card's horrible. There's just a bunch of names on it.
Like, yeah, I put out a tweet. The boxing brain, the philosopher, he's one of the great boxing minds of our time, Dan Canobia. He's putting out stuff saying, "Oh yeah, it's an insane weekend," and it's like, yeah. Are you a fan of boxers or boxing? Because it's just a load of big names and fights that they're going to win easy. Like Canelo Skull, Inoue Cardenas, Jose Ramirez against Haney, Garcia against Rudy. Like, what are we doing? Like, everyone knows who's going to win those fights. Like, but anyway,
how can a weekend where the best fight is Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza be crazy? Not my definition.
It's not my sport because it's not the sport I love.
It's just a load of big names and mismatches. It is what it is. Like, yeah. But anyway, that it was a crazy weekend this week. I still can't believe that Lamont Roach.
9-3 Gervonta Davis.
Yeah. I still can't believe that happened, but it did. And yeah. Yeah. What a crazy weekend, man. And yeah, thank you for listening.
See you in episode 39.